Welcome back to Mega Man 11. Thankfully, the guy right next to Blockman happens to be the weakness, so that works. That worked out well my first time playing through because whenever I first play a Mega Man game, I just go left to right, top to bottom.
You mean like the guy who is weak to his weapon?
Yeah.
Okay, because the way you said that, it sounded like it was the other way around.
Yeah, my bad. But
I got really lucky with the weakness order in this game because like I went by Mega Man 1 logic, and it was like maybe Tundra Man gets killed by Torch Man, or
you know what?
It's like Mega Man 1 where the electric guy kills the ice guy, which kills the fire guy.
Yeah, I mean you can tell Torch and Tundra Man have some sort of weakness relation.
Yeah.
Well, this has always been one of my least favorite parts of Mega Man is finding out the boss order. I've never liked it.
I think they ordered the first two the way they did to make it easier for newcomers because it's literally level 1, level 2 on the list.
I just happen to get lucky because that's what unless there's a clear weakness relation like with Tundra Man and Torch Man, I basically just go left to right from top to bottom, and I figure out as I go along, really.
Yeah.
I struggled with Acid Man, personally, and trying to think, Impact Man. I couldn't find any logical weakness off the top of my head. I just experimented afterwards. But some you get immediately afterwards. It's like, you get Impact Man, it's a needle. I was like, oh, well, that's probably Bounce Man's weakness.
Well, sometimes these things don't make sense. Like, why is Splash Woman weak to bees? She just is.
Well, I mean, it's just, is it even a weakness or just a basic fear? I mean, I don't like bees.
Well, I mean, one of the problems weakness-wise is that sometimes they're helpful in stages, sometimes they're kind of not, like it is a little bit here.
Wait, I think I know why Splash Woman is weak to bees. Because they're needles. They pop bubbles. You get it?
Yeah, that's it.
We already did Bubble Man. So.
Yeah, new Robot Master. I call him Reach Man.
Honestly, but what Ryan was saying about the weapons, that I think is honestly the most, like, I'm not a big Mega Man person. I've played 1, 2, 3, 9, and that's it. But part of what makes the games fun to me is the special weapons and which ones are more useful in the stages, which is part of why I like Mega Man 2 more than Mega Man 3. I'm a basic bitch, I know. Is because I find the weapons in 2 to be more fun to use, whereas in most of the ones in 3 just kind of go straight and shoot mostly like a normal Buster shot. It's like, oh, this one's a needle, this one's a fist, this one's a... Magnet Man's is a little different, so maybe not that one, but you get what I mean.
I would say Mega Man...
Spin.
Yeah, I would say Mega Man 11's pretty average in terms of Mega Man weapon usage. There are some that are definitely good, some not so much.
Well, the thing is...
So which ones don't you like, out of curiosity?
I don't like Fuse Man because it's not much... If it goes along the ground, I could just use a charge shot because it's wide enough.
That's true. He's not...
I just don't like... to me, the one thing I don't like it compared to something... Because I love the Surge Snake in Mega Man 3.
Yeah, but you don't have a charge shot in that game.
The Plug Ball... Well, even then, just in terms of a different weapon, you know. I love the Surge Snake and I think it was the Plug Ball in Mega Man 9.
Yeah.
You know, because they cover the ground so much. But that weapon here isn't as fast. Like, you can't spam it.
It's not as fast, but you can aim it up at the ceiling rather than like just shoot it along the ground and then make it go up the wall.
Yeah.
Like if you want to immediately go to the ceiling, you can.
Did the game just give you an achievement for invincibility?
Frame shot over spikes,
invincibility
Yes,
frame jumping the spikes.
Yeah. Yes,
okay.
Well, you are everything proof.
Yeah. I don't... As useful as it can be at points, I don't like Tundra Man's weapon because it's not very fun to use. It's just use it as a screen nuke, which is useful, but it's not like which is useful, but it's not very fun. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, it's not like you're summoning a police car with a rocket launcher out the back or anything like that. You're just kind of...
Yeah, screen nukes are only as fun as flashy they are, basically.
I use that screen nuke quite a bit in Wily too. There's so many things that get in your way when that thing's like chasing you, and when you have like 3 Sniper Joes in one spot, I'm just like,
I use Torchman for that.
I can't wait though until March 2019 when we finally get a proper 3D Mega Man game.
Oh, wait, Lewis, look out. The comment section is shouting about Mega Man Legends at you right now.
Here's
That's not what I was talking about, though.
Here is probably my biggest weird issue with this game. The stages go on for too long, I feel.
A little too long?
Yeah.
Sometimes that can happen.
Going on, not obviously every stage, because we're on the 11th game, there's plenty of examples of where it's not quite the case, but most Mega Man stages, lengthwise, start easy and go to medium and kind of end around the upper end of medium going towards hard. And most Mega Man games will save the hard versions of the gimmicks or harder versions of the gimmicks mixed with other things for like the Wily Castle stuff. Here they decide to throw that hard stuff at you from the get-go, which you may or may not be equipped for because you don't have certain boss weapons.
I don't see the challenges being any more than here's the easy version of this challenge, then the medium version, and the hard version all on the same stage.
But that feels like it goes on too long because most Mega Man games will save those hard versions for like Wily stuff.
I was going to say that a consequence of that is that the stages kind of go on longer than it needs to, and I think what further supplementing that is the lack of checkpoints, at least in normal mode.
I was about to ask that. How does the game manage that length?
It retains the checkpoints of like classic Mega Man, where they have one like instead of like a third and then a little over halfway, it's now like a quarter and half. So you have to go through the hard version of the stage, basically on one life until you get to the boss.
The difficulties are really weird in Mega Man 11 because in the Japanese version of this game, newcomer is basically easy, casual is normal, and normal is hard, and superhero is like expert mode, right?
Yeah.
Here, normal
is hard.
So they named normal mode
casual.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're looking at the name casual and going, well, I don't want to play a casual babies mode, I want to play normal mode, that's kind of the hard mode of Mega Man 11 in the Japanese version. And so like the checkpoints are a lot better in casual mode because they do spread out a lot more. But with normal mode, you really do have like maybe 2 or 3.
They Devil May Cry 3'd it?
Yeah, Devil May Cry / Radiant dawned it.
They backwards Mega Man 2'd it, where normal is easy and easy is and normal is hard.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Mega Man's a verb now.
Damn you, Capcom!
Yeah, so it should be stressed that if you are playing this game and
casual
that
first.
is an issue, go casual first because the starvation of checkpoints really hits you at certain points. Because I love this game. I think it's a great game. But even I have to like I was exhausted when I maybe screwed up a simple thing here or there, and then I was like, holy shit, I'm like 6 screens back.
Impact Man.
Hi, Concrete Man / Mick from Mighty Number 9.
That name kinda sounds like, another robot master I could name. I'm not naming any names, but it might kind of sound like Crash Man.
Or is he Clash Man? The world will never know.
Either way. I mean, it's basically what the word means, right?
Also, sad to say, this is
that could have gone better.
This is one of the only music pieces I remember. I don't find much of Mega Man 11 soundtrack
I like the title screen. I like Fuse Man.
I like Bounce Man a lot. I think Bounce Man sounds
good.
I
hate Bounce Man's theme.
Dr. Light's Trial was something I spent a lot of time on, and that song got burned into my brain. So
we saw it because you like it.
Yeah, we saw it based on your Twitter.
What's Dr. Light's Trial? I actually don't remember hearing about that.
It's basically a challenge mode where it's just a bunch of rooms and you have to beat X number of enemies, get through without dying, yada yada yada.
Oh,
yeah, you have one life, you have one health bar.
Endless mode, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 30 floors, you have 1 life, 1 health bar, and you have to take on all of the castle bosses. So, Yellow Devil,
can you find E-Tanks or anything like that?
You don't get E-Tanks, but you can get an extra life at every 10 floors.
Oh, okay.
That only helps so much.
Well, you still only get a mess up 3 times before you're... You know what I mean.
This is...
Oh, they brought back those annoying... Oh, God, I hate those guys.
Things, yeah.
The floor things from Mega Man 1, I hate those things.
This is definitely one of those levels where you really just want to punch Dr. Light for not designing Mega Man to be able to swivel his gun arm upward.
Yeah. The other weird thing about this game is really stingy on health until you get a special upgrade that you can buy in the shop.
Huh.
I haven't
Really?
done that.
Yeah, You sure? I didn't really
Yeah,
have
no,
a problem with
I have tons of problems where enemies just won't drop health, even when I'm like farming.
health. I would chalk that up to shit RNG.
Because that happens, you know what, that
'Cause-
happens to me in Zelda, too. It's just like, okay, I need money to buy this thing. I'm going to go cut some grass. I only get hearts. Man, I'm really low on health. I really need some hearts. I'm going to cut the grass, and all I get is
Did that
money.
enemy hit you just
from the
before
screen
it spawned
transition.
out?
Yeah.
Plus, I would say even without RNG, there are enough health pickups like scattered throughout the level design that even if you're not getting enough through that, I feel like you pick enough up along the way.
Some stages more than others. Some stages there's like, oh, here's 2 dinky little small ones, which doesn't really help.
Sounds like you need to play in casual mode.
You filthy casual.
Or as the Japanese call it, normal.
I beat Mega Man in base, so
Yeah, but what does that prove, really, Ryan?
a lot.
That doesn't prove your tolerance to. It doesn't prove your tolerance to pain. It just proves you're an idiot.
Capcom should really learn not to slide the difficulty modes over like that. I mean, it practically killed Devil May Cry 3.
Oh, I love Arc Weldy.
Yeah. He's just sitting there doing his
peace,
job, and we
Wily.
kill him.
It's those eyes, man.
I just like imagine him with like a droopy voice.
Hey,
It's a living.
knock that out.
So, are these robots riding that weird wheel-shaped motorcycle
they're
Obi-Wan
riding-
uses?
Well, no, they're writing it. It is going to change the world.
By the way, this is technically Impact Man that we're dodging. This is actually him.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, those are parts of him.
That's actually, you know,
If you
That's
go into
cool.
the gallery, the 3 parts are specifically mentioned to form Impact Man, so...
you know what? That's actually cool because that was actually one of the things about Mighty Number 9 that I thought was an interesting idea, where you have to deal with the Robot Master or whatever the hell they called it in that game, giving you crap before the boss fight. So they probably didn't specifically crib that from Mighty Number 9, but it was a good idea from that game, and I'm glad that they did something with it.
Oh, cool.
So-
Blockman just absolutely destroys that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Blockman helps so much here. Just because
oh,
they
you
have
see,
hard
because-
hats does not mean they are protected from it at all.
It's funny, because Blockman was one of the last Robot Masters I destroyed, so I didn't get to use this weapon for a lot of stages.
Blockman does look like one of the more interesting ones.
I think it's an underrated power. It passes through all the walls, it passes through all the objects. It's
Oh, yeah,
generally
it's a-
good at killing enemies.
It's a weapon with some really interesting positioning.
It's good at killing the
potential.
enemies except for freaking balloons.
Yeah, because here I just used Tundra Man over and over again.
It's not often
Yeah.
that you get an attack in Mega Man that goes from the top to the bottom like that, I think
Yeah.
is part of it.
Yeah, but see, this is what I'm talking about, though. Just the fact that we're mentioning we can do this stage or that stage with different approaches with different weapons, I think is a testament to how useful the weapons are in this game.
Well, that's
I
Some,
agree.
certainly...
no,
that should-
only a few of them, because some of them I just didn't find much use at all.
Yeah,
Well,
you're
I
wrong.
could say that. Well, here's the thing, Ryan. In almost any Mega Man game, I could say that because, for example,
No, there are definitely some that have better weapons than others, because
Well-
fuck using any of the weapons in 5.
well, no, I'm just saying that even in the best Mega Man games, like for example in Mega Man 2, you know, some weapons I find very, very useful, like metal blades, obviously, but even stuff like the Woodman's Leaf Shield and things like that. But aside
Quick
from
boomerang.
Quickman's stage, are you really going to use Flashman? Not really, no. Heatman's weapon? No, not really. There's that one part in one of the Wily castles where you could use Bubble Man to see where the holes are, but other than that, Bubble Man? No, not really. I feel like in many Mega Man games, most of the powers aren't really useful, and maybe half of them are pretty good. But if you get like more than 4 on average, you're better than average for
This
Mega
game,
Man
this game is pretty average on the weapons for me.
Well, I don't know. These guys have both said that they like at least 5 or 6 from what I've
Oh,
heard.
so you value their opinion more than mine.
Now you get it.
Well, Ryan, they both have more subscribers than you do, so...
Yeah, so clearly it means we know what we're talking about.
You'll get your check in the mail to...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but you actually pay money, pay them pancakes.
Pay them in that new stuff they actually get there now.
Yeah, I'm really loving Blockman. That's
Another thing I really like, the rush upgrades are set to hotkeys now.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
useful.
that.
Just instantly summon them.
So you
I
start
can't
the game
imagine
with
a Mega Man game without a Power Wheel anymore. Like, I've just been enjoying so much being able to flick up or left or right on the analog stick and just instantly transforming into exactly what I want, instead of, like, pausing, going through the list, picking what I want, or LR, found it,
Yeah.
you know. With this
and that's
game,
still-
the Power Wheel actually maps it to, like, the stage selection location. So, like, Blockman is in the top left in the stage select. His power is in the top left when you want to select it. So, like, you remember the positioning even after you fought all the robot
I
masters.
didn't even notice that until you mentioned it.
Yeah, you know, I can see places where Mega Man 11 is maybe a little rough around the edges, but on the whole, I'm liking what I see a lot more than I expected to like what I see, because, well, you know, I'm not really a Mega Man guy. I played maybe a bit of 1 and 2, and I tried 9 and got blindsided, and that kind of soured
I played
my...
half of Mega
Well,
Man 11, so I guess Mega Man 1.
Well, Lewis, I'm gonna give you a little bit of validation here because I didn't really like 9 all that much either. I thought that 9
Really,
was a
I
little-
love 9. I like it so much better than this game.
I'm not necessarily saying that I don't like 9 exactly. I'm saying it soured my enjoyment of it to the point where I didn't give it a chance. So someday I might like properly stop and play it and have a different opinion when I finish. But my first time through, I didn't get into it, is what I'm saying.
Well, I played Mega
So-
Man 1 first, and the first stage I chose was Gutsman, so that goes to show what my first impression of that series was.
Welcome to Mega Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
frickin' platforms, man.
Apart from like maybe the X games, I'm not really that into Mega Man, but I'm liking what I'm seeing here. You know, just on the whole, it seems fun.
Well, one thing
I
I
would
will
say-
say that I do enjoy, even just by looking at it, is that the Robot Masters are so much more dynamic in this game than they are in any of the others. Because, well,
Yeah,
I guess
I can
aside
see
from
it.
some of the X games, because, like I know that they've got the big flashy transformations, but not even just that, like how he turned into a little triangle thing and then just kind of like bounced across the ground. That was way more personality than most of the 8-bit ones. And I mean, granted, they're from the NES, so I'm not trying to bully that because you're comparing modern hardware to... Mega Man 1 is literally smaller than most MP3 files, so...
It's funny, Mega Man 7 and Mega Man 8 actually got 8-bit demakes. So, like, they actually recreated the sprites of the Robot Masters in 8-bit. And I couldn't imagine them doing it for Mega Man 11 because of Blockman's giant robot thing and Impact Man turning into that big 3-pronged drill thing that he just did.
Oh, they could do it. They just need to get SNK to do the sprite work.
It would be a lot of work to edit
It's a lot
those
of work,
kinds
though.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of sprite work, not necessarily 8-bit, but it's the kind of thing I would expect from, say, a Darkstalkers game. So Capcom's capable of it. They just don't do that kind of stuff much anymore.
But even then, those are fan-made games, though. The demakes.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But to like try and do that for Mega Man 11, which does have a lot of frames of animation given its 2.5D nature, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is.